State Representative Casey Carpenter telling 11 Alive he does not want to see Ximena Arias-Cristobal deported.
That's right. So we know that she spent weeks in ICE detention after a traffic stop in Dalton that turned out to be a mistake, according to police. So now she is out on bond. She is working to stay in the U.S. And I spoke with Representative Carter about the public's reaction and what the case says about Trump-era immigration policies.
I just think you saw a community that wrapped their arms around a young lady that they know, and they know that's a valued member of our society up here. But it's happening all over the United States. Unfortunately, good people that have been here for a really long time are getting caught up in the deportation. When in reality we all thought it was going to be about hardened criminals.
And tonight, 11 Alive's Molly Oak is joining us now. Molly, I know you also spoke with the representative earlier today looking into the criminality of this case and the laws on driving without a license in Georgia.
Yeah, Faith Jonathan, we've seen people's questions about what legally can happen if you're pulled over without a license. Tonight, we're getting you answers.
A lot of us are being treated as criminals.
Driving without a license.
It shouldn't put you in jail. It shouldn't deprive you of your livelihood. It shouldn't deprive you of your schooling.
So what is the typical punishment in Georgia?
It's not a felony, but it is a misdemeanor. The punishments vary. It's usually a fairly light punishment on the first offense. And then like most misdemeanors, the more often it's repeated, the higher the offense becomes.
State Representative Casey Carpenter says Ximena has an international license. John Acevedo, an associate dean with Emory University School of Law, says there are ways to get a license in our state if you're here legally.
You can obtain a license in Georgia if you have a valid visa, passport, even if it's from a foreign country. So really the difficulty becomes if you're undocumented.
He says if everything is valid, someone driving without a license typically wouldn't land in jail.
They would usually just simply temporarily impound the car, and then you can go pick it up once you have someone with a valid license present.
But he says this case is not typical.
A mistaken stop followed by a person without a valid license being arrested, of course, because of the combination of the multiple offenses the officer thought she was guilty of. But even then, as was noted, she would probably have been released on her own recognizance had she not then been requested for an immigration hold by ICE.
Acevedo says if it had been a U.S. citizen
who made an illegal turn, was driving without a license, even if they were taken to the police station, they probably would never even seen more than the holding cell.
Now, this is a case 11 Alive has been following since the very beginning. To read more about Ximena and her father's future legal flights, head to 11alive.com.